Rich, we're headed back to Baja.
Robin, we need to get this van in shape. In preparing to get ready for Baja, we checked the batteries. One was half dead. We decided, let's go ahead and upgrade.
Let's get started.
Let's get moving.
We're Rich and Robin,
And these are our midlife adventures.
living in and out of our midlife van.
After our Baja trip earlier this year, and then took some time off from the van to do some other traveling. Been to Chicago, New York, Philadelphia, Charleston, and Savannah, Nashville, Memphis, and San Antonio. We went on 4 cruises. This summer, we went to 10 countries and 18 ports in Europe, including 4 stops in Iceland. And used our Frontier Go Wild Pass for even more adventures like Costa Rica and Punta Cana, visiting our first all-inclusive resort. We also went on some family trips, including a cruise to Alaska, over to the islands, to Kauai, and now we are back in the van. What are you doing?
Robin, we've had this van for 4 years. We originally went with the idea that we'll buy AGM batteries for the house batteries, and they'll last maybe 2 years, and then we'll go with lithiums. And it's been 4 years with these batteries.
So that's what you're doing?
So 4.5 years. Unfortunately, or fortunately, two out of the 3 batteries are good. Unfortunately, one is bad. And it's not bad, but it's starting to pull the other 2 down. You can't really, and you shouldn't really, put a brand new battery with 2 old batteries. The good news is, lithium batteries that are exactly the same size, 100 amp hour batteries, are $220. They're like $50 less than if I wanted to replace one of these AGMs right now. So I think it's time to pull the trigger and go with lithium ion. So I'm gonna go, I think if we go with lithium ion phosphate batteries, we'll get 3 of them. Right now, these are 125 amp hour AGM batteries. If we replace them with 100 amp hour lithium ion phosphate batteries, sounds like it's less capacity, but it is actually more, because on lithiums you can go all the way down to 0%, or so you get the full 100 amps. As where AGMs, you only get like 50%. So we're only getting like 60 amps out of each battery. So we are going to benefit in the long run.
Is this a good idea to do right before a 3,000-mile trip down to Baja and back?
Well, the alternative is deal with laboring batteries that are going to cause us problems, because we're not going to have plug-ins down there. So we could just baby it and just not use much, or we can go for it. This is an isolator. It connects the engine's alternator and the car battery to the house batteries. So the benefit on that is when the engine's running, it'll charge all the batteries. What I've been told years ago is you can't use an isolator with lithium batteries. But what I've been reading lately is that only is the case on smart alternators, and our ProMaster is not so smart when it comes to an alternator.
We have a dumb alternator?
Which is good, because it's just a normal alternator saying, I need to do this, I'll do this. There's nobody controlling it like the body or the powertrain control modules. I'm pretty confident, and what I've been reading on some of the ProMaster forums is we can stick with the isolator, which is good, because then we can get full use of the 200 amps coming out of the alternator. We're going to have to replace the solar controller. This thing was only 25 bucks 4 years ago. It just doesn't have any profiles and settings for lithium ion batteries. I think I've seen one for like 50 bucks that we can be able to use. So I think 3 batteries, that lithium ions, and a solar controller, and we'll be ready to roll.
Almost 5 years.
Yeah, it's crazy how long these have lasted.
We said that this would just be our starter set.
Yeah, and see what it
and
goes
then we'd
from there.
upgrade to something better. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we get more power.
We should get more power.
Rich, where are we?
We are back in the van. Feels so good to be back in the van.
We haven't been in this van forever.
Forever.
Let's see, 7 months. Well, you did take
it to a concert. We did take it to a music festival.
I can't believe for 7 months we have not gone on an adventure in our van.
So sad. You had to take us on all those cruises, Robin.
Had to.
Had to.
So we've got a lot to do to get this van in shape.
Whole lot
We've got so much to do. We've made a list. What's on our list?
We got our fancy list here, Robin. So we got oil the countertop. That's always needed.
We bought our butcher block countertops from IKEA. About once a year, we use the IKEA oil on the countertops, and in between, a mineral oil for butcher block counters. Yeah.
The under the sink cabinet, the drawer's all jacked up. Adjusted the sliders too, the rollers.
Cleaned up the mess, adjusted the sliders, and lined it finally. We've been talking about that for how long?
Since we put it in. The freshwater tanks probably need to be sanitized. Clean out the drinking water bottles. Finally gonna line the garage floor. I don't know why you didn't have me do that before.
Oh yeah, I held you back. You just freshening up the garage.
Just cut off the wrong piece.
It's just the garage. You can't mess it up. Back.
Gotta clean the HEPA, keep those smelling good.
The HEPA?
I'm gonna do the HEPA. Instead of a what's it called? A J pipe or a P trap, they call it sometimes. It doesn't take up as much room and it does a lot better job of keeping the smell out.
That don't look that bad.
It's been worse.
Mm-hmm. You probably cleaned it before our last trip, and our last trip only was a couple months. That's the sink one, or shower one.
That's the sink one.
It's a little dirty, but not that bad.
Not bad at all.
Clean them up. All clean?
Yeah.
Look at that. Oh, I feel a little dirt in there. Much cleaner than it was.
Clean those maxi fans because they are nasty. Because they've been running all summer to try to keep the inside cool. Clean the air filters for the air conditioning and also for the engine.
These fans
are beautiful.
Muy bueno. See how long they stay clean.
Your Velcro has been holding up on these guys really well.
They've held up real well.
Those summer, I was expecting those to be all popped off, just like this guy here. He keeps on falling off.
So maybe
we need to use some good Velcro.
Yeah. This was the heavy duty Velcro I got in Baja after we bought some Baja art.
In preparing to get ready for Baja, we checked the batteries. One was half dead, so we decided let's go ahead and upgrade to the lithium iron batteries, and we got them 2 days later. Go to put them in, test everything before. Sure enough, number 2 of the AGM batteries was dying too. So
perfect timing. Perfect
timing, because we probably would have been not stranded, but it would not have been good. We wouldn't be able to use all the functions that we normally do. So it's nice that we were able to catch that before we get traveling. And also, in looking at the isolator, when I went to replace that, even though it wasn't failing, I was just trying to keep it from failing, and because of exceeding the capacity, when I pulled it apart, the terminal was actually broken off the board. In the near future, it would have failed on us. So,
good job, Rich.
Yeah, got lucky there.
Fix it, Rich, to the rescue. Where do we store our batteries?
Fortunately, we made I think a good decision by having the electrical inside the van, right by the driver's seat, and then you built the bench around it, and so it works out perfect for us. So got a nice comfy cushion, it's velcroed onto it, and then from there we have a lot of stuff. We're getting ready for our next Baja trip, and going through everything, I just like to make sure that we're good. And the AGM batteries that we had in here that have lasted more than 4 years, one of them failed. One of them was starting to fail. It was like, it's tapering off really bad. So we decided to let's go ahead and upgrade from AGMs to lithium. When we built it, the only player in town was lithium ion batteries. They're super expensive and they're also really dangerous. So we held off on that. We said, let's just go with AGMs. now we're at a point where I'm glad we waited, because now they have lithium iron phosphate batteries, LiFePO 4 batteries that are like the main player, and they are cheap now. These batteries, each of these are $210 each. As were before, they were probably like $600 or $700 each. We went with 3 LiFePO 4 batteries. So we had a isolator there. I was starting to question if there's going to be enough. Our alternator can do 220 amps. And so that's the isolator that I just put in to replace the one we had before. Yeah, the one was rated at 140 amps. This one's rated at 200 amps. I think this is going to do better for us.
So our other one would have worked.
It would have worked, but what was happening is now we're getting the LiFePO batteries actually can pull more amperage, and it was exceeding the output or the rating of the isolator.
So we went ahead and updated that as well.
We updated the isolator, and that was $85.
Ooh.
But DC to DCs, we were probably looking at $300 or $400.
Okay.
So, and then I was looking at, okay, what are we going to do for the solar controller? Because the solar controllers are tuned to the batteries. Our old solar controller was only tuned to the AGM batteries, so had to do some research and found this bad boy.
And not to interrupt you, but what's this thing sticking up in front of it?
This is our seatbelt, Robin. This is our third-person seatbelt. So if anybody wants to come cruising with or come camping with us, the seatbelt comes up through the box seat and then latches over here to a buckle. It's attached with a large secure plate underneath the van. So if we get an accident, knock on wood, we won't, then this octave button would still be safe.
Okay, back to the solar.
So here's the solar controller. So this bad boy is huge. But it is already tuned for the lithium iron phosphate batteries, and so it'll give us full capacity of what our 500 watts of solar on the top is. Without that, we would probably only get maybe like 70% use of our solar panels.
So how much did this solar controller cost us?
I got this on special for $170. $170 with the special coupon they had on it. So, and added bonus, it has Bluetooth connectivity, so we're able to see right away how much the solar is charging. So we're able to see, boom. So here's our voltage, 13.3 volts. So it's fully charged. We're still, even with the cloudy day out there, 10.5 amps for 140 watts. So we are looking good.
And better than we were with the other AGM batteries.
We're better than the AGM battery than we were with the AGM batteries. We're better than we were with the solar controller, because now we're getting almost 98% efficiency, and we won't stand any problems out on the road with our isolator, because we upgraded the isolator.
So this whole thing cost us about $1,000 to upgrade.
I would say so. With the batteries, the solar controller, the isolator. Yeah, probably a little bit less than $1,000.
But after almost 5 years.
Yes, and so the AGM batteries are good for maybe 300 to 400 cycles. These LiFePO 4 batteries are good for 4,000 cycles. So these ideally could last 10 years. So we should be, cross our fingers, we should be good. And clean that bedding. We got food. It's 7
I think there's still
old
some food
stuff.
in here. I gotta clean that out.
Gotta pack our clothes all up again.
Pack
our food.
Look at, I have an arrow because we added
What?
more. So what else?
Oh, we'll put new windshield wipers on.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll add as it goes on, but
And then we'll have to tape another piece on.
Let's see what else is on the list. And empty and sort the food, done. Pack the clothes, almost done. Pack the food, almost done. Clean the bedding and make the bed, check. Almost ready. Almost forgot. We had to add wash the solar panels to the list. Got to get good voltage on those batteries. Good what?
For our good batteries.
For our new good batteries. So I heard you replaced something else recently.
Robin, you know how much I love doing plumbing. So when taking a shower this last trip, the water pump would go on, off, on, off, on, off, on, off. And I checked the accumulator before and it was leaking. I replaced the shredder on it, but it's still leaking. So I had to order a new one. Unfortunately, it's only 28 bucks. But the accumulator, what it does is it goes right after the pump. And when the pump's running, it actually has a bellows inside and it pressurizes the water. And then when you turn the pump off, then you can still use the faucet and it'll be able to push the water out. But more importantly, what it does is it accumulates the pulsations so the pump doesn't false trigger on and off. And so it just makes it happier.
You got something to mark off there?
Wash those dirty solar panels.
Check.
Check.
What you doing? Oh, hey. What you doing?
Giving her a little bath. It's like getting those solar panels cleaned.
You're getting me wet, Rich. Okay, so that leaves just one more thing.
Oh.
Mine are packed. I just have to put them in the van.
I don't see them in here.
I just have to put them in the van. Where are yours?
They're all over the place.
Yeah, so one more thing.
Yes.
Even though I don't quite need it this time, I use my pillows for extra storage for clothes and some extra swimsuit items. I'm packed. What about Rich? A little more medicine. Never have too much medicine, Baja. You never know.
Never know.
You never know what you're gonna need.
So here is my clothes. See if it'll fit in there. There's some stuff that Robin won't like, but we won't tell her about it, okay? But I think I got everything I need for a couple weeks. Look at that. Everything just fits like a glove. Robin hates this jacket, but you can't go to Baja without having this jacket. I think we can now check off the last thing. Packing clothes, done. So I think we are ready to head south to Baja.
So we finished the list?
I checked off the last thing, Robin, for packing the clothes.
So we're ready to go?
I think let's roll. Well, tomorrow. How about tomorrow morning?
Mañana. The last time we went to Baja, we had a little issue getting stuck, and we had some problems you had to fix with the boot.
Yes, with the axle. So
yeah. And when we got back, what'd you do to the van to make it Baja worthy this time?
Well, when we got back, I replaced the axle because the grease flung out of it, and you can feel it was binding up on acceleration. So I did not want to chance it. So we replaced the axle, which wasn't so bad. Then also to try to be donkey proof, we put a little brush guard on the front just to try to keep maybe deer or donkeys from plowing into the radiator. We got new traction boards because our old ones were
broke before we went on the last trip, and
they were very, very well used.
And we wore out those nubs.
That was very well used. So we got new traction boards. We have the two sets. We have the Go treads that fold up, and then we also have a brand new set of generic Max treads. A couple new toe straps.
Ooh, how many toe straps we have now?
Well, who knows? We don't need to bother with that. No. And so a kinetic one. So that will allow to get extra little bounce out. So I think that will help. If we get stuck. But you know what, Robin?
We're not going to get stuck.
We're not going to get stuck.
Not
How
this
about that?
time. Not this time, Rich.
Not on my watch.
I hope not.
And so Starlink, I got it in a new box instead of the cardboard box. So this should
Then put it on the bed.
take a beating. So I think we are ready, Robin.
It has been,
So long since we've been down to Baja.
it has been 8 months.
That's a long time.
8 months since, not just since we've been to Baja, but since we've been on a trip together in this van.
Yeah, I did. Okay,
Okay,
let's roll.
we'll see you in Manana.
Yes.
Join us as we cross the border.
Let's go.